How y'all doing, everybody? Welcome to the Bayou Ballers podcast. I'm myself, Tay Visuals. See, I got my Saints gear on. Got my guy over there, Trey. Just came back from his trip from Waco. So he just getting in the dough, and we giving y'all this for the weekend. This is um Saints priority right here. You know, we
Yeah,
giving y'all some hometown love today, and we finally got our drop that we won't give to y'all. So I'm gonna give it to y'all. This is another history lesson and a history moment for y'all with us. So let's play it for him, Trey.
You know the facts.
There
let's
y'all
get
go.
it.
That's our first segment that we created on the show is you know the facts. Now, if you're from New Orleans, it's gonna be you know the facts. You see the back right here, but you pronounce it as you know the facts. But other than that, we're gonna get into some Saints rookies today, y'all, and also a QB2 battle. Um, Jake Haener, Spencer Rattler.
Mhm.
And for some people, Nathan Peterman.
Don't mention
but
that man name.
don't mention his name. But let's get into our rookie class, man. I pulled up an article for you guys. Y'all gonna see it when I click on it. It's from PFF because PFF gave the Saints. I'm saying us gave the New Orleans Saints an A+ draft grade. So I'm gonna pull that up for you guys, and we can get started talking about our first round draft pick was Talise Fuaga. That's how you pronounce it.
I think it's Wonga. Like there's no win in
Fuanga.
it, but I think you got to put it in there.
Heard, but we got a offensive tackle from Oregon State,
Hmm.
and he's a bruiser. And the Saints really needed some help on the offensive line. So Trey, give your thoughts on this first round pick
I mean,
from Fuanga while I pull this article up.
it was definitely the safe pick. I mean, we knew offensive line was in need,
Hmm.
and he was one of the best in the draft. And so, being at 14, it made sense to get him.
Hmm.
You know, he played right tackle at Oregon State, but we got him starting at left tackle right now. So you know the Saints way, make you
Hmm.
play something that you haven't played before. But I thought personally, I thought when he got drafted, he was going to slot him in at left guard because a
Hmm.
lot of people were saying that's where he would make the transition best. Or it was, and they said, you know, if he's not going to play guard, play him at right tackle. Where
Hmm.
well, we disregarded all that. He playing left tackle. We got Pennon trying to learn right tackle. But I think he's going to be effective in the run game. Oregon State
Hmm.
was one of the best running teams in college last year, and so I think he's going to really help us there. And knowing Clint Kubiak and just the Kubiak Shanahan tree running the ball is a big emphasis. So looking forward to that. Uh, I do know he in pass coverage he's pretty sound, but not. You know, if he gets beat, he's not
Can
the best at
improve.
recovering.
Hmm.
But you know, he's young. I think he'll learn. He has really good hand placement, so that'll probably help him as he learns. You know, the footwork part of it. But
Hmm.
I'm interested to see how it. You know, with this new regime, new offensive scheme, new offensive line coach, if they can coach not just our first round pickup, but just our offensive line in general.
Hmm.
What you think?
Um, Obviously we needed. We see PFF says the Saints needed to
Mhm.
address the tackle position because
Yeah.
Trevor Penning he struggled and then got injured, then struggled, then got benched, put back in, and rode the bench the rest of the year last year. Even with
Mhm.
injuries to the offensive line, he still didn't get the start. Um, and Ryan Ramczyk with his knee issue. So I know offensive lineman is not the fancy pick, but when the season comes around and you see the impact he has, we start to grow. We start to grow the love for the players in the offensive line pick. We know it's not the
Mhm.
sexy pick, but though the trenches is where the game is won, no matter 20 years ago and now. You have to control the line of scrimmage, and the Saints running game hasn't been that spectacular over the past couple years. So, and that's due to a lack of an offensive lineman struggling over the past couple years,
Mhm.
declining. That used to be a strength from the Saints. And hopefully they could get back to it with this pick. And I like the guy 6'6", street 30. We need guys like that on the line to move guys around. When it's just 3rd and 1 and we do run them halfback dives that Pete Carmichael loved. I don't know if Clint gonna do that, but those are the guys you need to just move a body for that 1 yard that we need. So I
Mhm.
like that pick. One thing I'm interested, like you said, we all know Saints fans know the Saints do not play guys at their original position, and I really don't like that because bringing guys in to learn new positions, especially the most important position on the line, the left
Yeah,
tackle position, he's going to be protecting our quarterback, and it's going to be he's a rookie, so he might have some lumps, and hopefully it don't cost Derek Carr a few games. But moving off of Fuanga, we're gonna get to our second round pick, your guy, and I'm gonna let you
I
introduce this
roll
guy
tide,
because
baby. Hey, despite where he got picked at the best cornerback in this draft,
Mhm,
and we gonna dive into to why. But Kool-Aid McKinstry Saints got it still. Obviously coming off a foot injury, and I think that's probably what played into it. But you want to know why I say this guy's the best cornerback in the draft?
mhm.
14 games started last year, only thrown at 39 times.
Like a Reeves, huh?
So teams don't even throw at this guy more than three times a game. And in college, everybody gets thrown at. So that just kind of lets you know the type of talent, a guy that can take away half the field. Um, he can contribute on special teams. You can't play for a Nick Saban coach team and not be able to do that. And that's both, on the kickoff team, but also as a returner. So we want to focus Shaheed more as a wide receiver in some
Mhm,
capacity this year as we go on. He's a guy that can step back there, um, very secure in getting the catch because that's the most important part, and has the ability to return. I wouldn't call him the fastest guy by any stretch of the imagination, but he has game speed, if that makes sense. Where he's not gonna you're not gonna call him a burner, you're not gonna call him a Usain Bolt, but he can keep up with some of the speedy wide receivers. He knows how to get his hands on the ball when it
mhm.
is thrown to him. One of the things I'm looking forward to, because now he's a rookie, you're gonna get thrown at,
Right.
especially if you're on the field with the Marshawn Lattimore and the Paulson Adebo or Alante Taylor. You're the one they don't know about. You're the one they're
And I
gonna
want
throw.
to ask you that though. Where do you
Yeah.
think he fits in this cornerback group though?
Man, again, as we talk
How
about
much
the
playing
Saints,
time will he get?
I think this year for me, and I know a lot of people are already trying to put him in the rotation. I think he'll see the field, but I think this year really needs to be focused on getting healthy with that foot and just learning, especially from a guy like Marshawn Lattimore. That I think at least for the first half of the season, we're gonna have him on the
Mhm,
roster. And so you want to take that time to learn from him. I think Paulson Adebo is growing as a leader in that room, and Alante Taylor, somebody you can learn from, and they're going to be competing. So for that slot corner position, so it seems. But I
mhm.
think he fits best outside, much like Alante Taylor fits best outside. But if you want to see the field on this team, you got to get it how you can. And so he
Gotcha.
can. He has that ability to play inside, but he's going to do most of his damage outside in his career. That's just kind of the truth of the matter.
Also, what I think about that's my main concern. We have a deep cornerback room right now,
Mhm.
but my concern is where are they gonna play him? You say he's an outside cornerback.
Mhm.
Outside cornerback is pretty sold up unless Lattimore continues his injury history over the past couple years. And they had a tweet where it was like move Alante to safety. Alante tweeted, no, 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 we're not doing that. We're not going to
Yeah.
no safety. So Alante, he already didn't want to play slot, but that's where he had to be at. So and 1 year at the slot in the NFL, I'm sure Latte will be better because he has
Mhm.
all the tools to be a great cornerback. We saw it his first year when he was defending great players, Devontae Adams.
Mhm.
I think it was DJ Moore, I believe he went at it with,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
a couple other good wide receivers. What DeAndre Hopkins, he battled him. So he has the intangibles and he has the tools to be a great corner. We
Mhm.
just have to see Alante moving in the slot, and I want to know where Kool-Aid will fit in that. Will he be a step
Mhm.
behind? Because we know Lattimore is Lattimore.
Yeah.
Debo has solidified himself as a solid number two corner. Maybe could be a number one corner. He's young.
Mhm.
So Kool-Aid, I don't know where he's gonna get in, but training camp will be big because I don't know if Alante, even though Alante has been a year in, he struggled a little bit,
Mhm.
adjusted to that slot. So I'm looking forward to that battle at trading cap. But who you rooting for? Your Bam guy, Alante,
Man, look, I just root for the Saints, man.
the best guy.
The best guy's gonna win. And the thing
Mhm,
is, it's good to have depth at the position. Like That's
Mhm.
why I said I think Kool-Aid is going to see the field at some point, and
I
it's just
think so
about
too. A second
yeah, it's
round
just
pick, he
about
has
yeah,
to.
he has to. So it's a lot that's going to go into it, but the best guy's going to win, and they're going to make each other better. I think Alante Taylor made Paulson Adebo better
Mhm.
going into their battle last year, and so maybe Kool-Aid makes Alante better in the slot, and now we got truly our three best just closing off everything, no pass on.
Right. Might be a lot of dime
Yeah.
packages.
Yeah.
Um, but the Saints, that was the Saints' first and second round pick. They didn't have a third or a fourth. Had a bunch of
Mhm.
fifths. And with their first fifth round pick, they drafted quarterback Spencer
Mhm.
Rattler, rocket arm. And it's kind of interesting because they drafted a quarterback last year, Jake Haener, from Fresno, I believe,
Fresno.
Fresno State.
Yeah, Fresno State. Mhm.
So they're going to be competing for the QB2 battle. And I'm intrigued with this because the Saints finally have two young quarterbacks who's going to be competing for a number 2 spot. Not some
Mhm.
guy who just not a Chase Daniels. Um, um, and not a Garrett Grayson, even though he was
Yeah.
young, but we just know he would never see the field. And who were the other backups why Drew Brees was here? It was
Yeah.
mainly Chase Daniels, but
Yeah.
once
We
he
had
moved
Ian
on,
Book and all
Ian
that.
Book, uh,
Ryan
I remember,
Griffin, all of them. It go
yeah,
on and on, but I see what
exactly.
you're saying.
I remember when Ian Book, side note, I remember when Ian Book came in and played his first game when Drew was hurt and a second quarterback was hurt, and he just got killed that game. I think
Yeah,
it was against the Dolphins. It
yeah.
was a
It was
Monday
against the
night game
Dolphins. Yeah,
too.
it
And
wasn't
he
felt.
got sacked like 7 or 8 times. I was looking for any inch to be like, "Ooh, he might be the future," but nothing was there. He was getting killed. But Jake Haener and Spencer Rattler, man, I'm excited about the young guys, second year player and first year player. Who do
Mhm.
you think will have the edge? And I have to say this: Nathan Peterman was signed as well.
Mhm.
I think he's a practice squad guy,
Mhm.
but who do you think will have the edge coming into training camp? Out of Rattler and Haener.
I think Jake has it from the sense of um, being a year in the NFL system and just knowing how that works, how you have to have your body prepared, how you go through a camp, that type of thing. But them drafting Spencer and Da kind of talking about how high they were on him. They thought he'd be gone late first, early second. So the
Mm-hmm.
fact that they got him in the fifth, he thought that was a steal, and they kind of couldn't prolong making that selection. And he's had our playbook for a while too. Clint Kubiak, kind of during the evaluation process, had him run some installs and things like that as we were kind of scouting them. So I think Jake, from a professional standpoint, has the advantage. But I think when it comes to the offense and things like that, they're
Mm-hmm.
both kind of coming into the same thing because you're learning a new system. I just think the good thing about the QB2 competition is that I think, unlike in years past, I think you're prepping these guys. Yeah, we want you to be the backup quarterback and win that competition, but we're
Mm-hmm.
prepping you and pushing you to, hey, if you get in the game, you got to be ready. And to take that
Exactly.
moment that if you got that opportunity to be QB1, that you're ready to do that. And I think that's probably something that we didn't have last year because obviously, James wasn't here for the long term. Jake was a rookie, got suspended the first 6 games with the
Mm-hmm.
PED thing. And it was Derek Carr's first year under a new contract. So there really wasn't any type of thing that was going to happen to where you'd push Derek out. And not
Mm-hmm.
saying that they're going to do that now, but I do think having two young guys in the building, to your point, I think they don't just want them to be fine with being backups. They want them to push as if they're going to be the starter one day and one day
And I think
soon.
it will.
And I think that's good. And so I think
Uh-huh.
that's good for both of them. So whoever wins out of this competition, they're definitely setting themselves up to maybe be the future of the New Orleans Saints fairly soon, in my opinion.
I got a dog entry in here, so y'all hear little feet. That's all right. But how I feel about the guys, even though I like that both are young, like
Mhm,
you said, they have to be ready to play because Derek Carr was injured. He was not banged up last year, and
mhm,
the opportunity was there. I think Derek Carr. I don't know if Derek Carr will be more open to sitting when he's actually injured and hurting the team.
mhm,
I think he didn't want to sit because he felt James was a threat to his starting job. Um, And I don't know how you will feel if a young guy come in there with a breath of fresh air and lights it up.
Hmm.
One of
Yeah.
these young guys, Jake Haener, come in, start slinging the ball around, a Spencer Rattler. Um,
Yeah.
I know Dennis Allen and Derek Carr are very close, and I know
Hmm.
both of them are there to protect each other's interests.
Hmm.
Because if DA is gone, it's more than likely Derek Carr will follow right
Yeah.
after. So hopefully, if Derek Carr is banged up, he doesn't force himself to play if he's hurting the team, and let one
Hmm.
of these young guys get some run, and we can see what we have just in case we don't have to draft a quarterback. We might have the next guy on the roster.
Yeah.
So the Saints drafting quarterbacks back to back years. I never forgive Sean Payton for the guys he drafted. He waited too late and he wanted to draft Drew Brees' twin, no quarterback over 6 foot, and whatever. But let's get to our next rookie off the quarterbacks, man. We're gonna get to another fifth round pick, Bub Means, wide
Mhm.
receiver. What's your thoughts on this guy out of Pittsburgh? Do you think he has the chance to make the roster? Because the Saints wide receiver depth chart: A.T.
Yeah.
Perry, Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, Cedric Wilson, and do we have another guy?
Yeah. I don't think we have another guy that we know of, right?
All right,
Um,
so that
and
fifth spot might be open. It
yeah,
should be.
and the thing I like about it, and we kind of talked about the quarterback position, from what it's looking like, it feels like now Dennis Allen is taking maybe the expectations that he's had on his defensive personnel and
Mhm,
putting that on his offensive personnel of, look, I don't care what your rank is, how long you've been here, you got to get the job done, or somebody's going to be in a position to get it done. And I think the wide receiver position is really up for grabs. I mean, we kind of talk about Olave being wide receiver one, and he's earned that right these past two
mhm,
years. But hey, Shaheed with more targets, what can he become? A.T.
mhm.
Perry with more, time within the field of the game. He could be ascending to that wide receiver two, wide receiver one. And so I think a guy like Bub Means, he's coming into a wide receiver room where there is competition
Opportunity.
and an
Mhm,
opportunity, right? And I didn't know much about Bub at Pittsburgh, but I did some digging, asked some questions, and I happened to reach out to one of his old teammates at Tech, and he kind
okay.
of said, "Hey, this guy's probably one of the hardest workers you're gonna
Mhm,
find. Like a first guy in, last guy out type of feel, and he's great deep threat, but he can do some of the underneath stuff. He's one of
mhm.
those big guys that really wants to be a deep threat, but he has some of that ability to be a possession receiver that'll kind of do him some good things early on. But
Okay.
having another guy that can take the top off the defense, you have at least two of your three quarterbacks have big arms, and Derek Carr and Spencer Rattler. And so now you're adding another guy to
Bye,
Shaheed's
baby.
speed. That could be really, really good for what we're building. So,
Okay. But means PFF didn't have really much to say on. They said
mhm.
the Saints supplement their receiving that would means the Pittsburgh playmaker racked up 16 receptions of 15 plus yards. So like you what you alluded to, big playability, earned a quality 72 receiving grade. So like that was very interesting what you said, but I it's more about the opportunity how I feel with him.
Mhm.
I don't know how much opportunity he will get, especially since the Saints went out there and got Cedric Wilson to
True.
probably be that compete with AT for the third receiver role. I
Mhm.
like AT. I hope he gets it. I like the young guys. He just need more opportunity to get on the field and get more targets. But
Mhm.
Cedric Wilson, I think he brings a little bit stability to the wide receiver room.
I
We
agree.
got a lot of young guys. He's probably the only guy who's have some age on him.
Yeah.
So, and adding Bub means doesn't help that. So I think Bub will compete for that fourth receiver spot or the
Mhm.
fifth. We know the fifth is open because we don't have the fifth receiver.
Yeah.
He is the fifth receiver that we know of. So trading cap will consist of a lot of competition in that room. We don't know if the Saints going to go young with AT or Cedric in the slot. And I'm looking forward to that. Bub has a
Mhm.
chance. He came to a team where he has the chance to make the team.
Yeah.
So looking forward to him. Now we're gonna move on to another guy we have from Texas, the Longhorns. We
Mhm.
have linebacker D Ford,
Jalen.
Jalen Ford. You can
Mhm.
tell I'm lost. I said D Ford. That's the guy from Auburn.
Yeah,
Who that's him who jumped off sides in the playoff game.
yeah,
Yep.
it is.
Sorry, D4. We didn't mean to bring that. I didn't mean to bring that back up. But do you have any information on Jalen Ford?
Well,
Which
I can tell you when we were coming up to that pick, I was praying that we got Jalen Ford.
okay,
He's just, I mean, I think he's just one of the most athletic linebackers in this class, and so I was excited. I think he's somebody that can learn from Demario. I don't know how you know integral he'll be first year, but like I said, I think he's somebody that can grow, especially in pass coverage. Run defense, he's going to be good. Very athletic, so he's a sideline to sideline guy. And when B. John Robinson is in your division, I think you need that. So I don't know how much playing time he's going to get as a rookie. Yeah, he's a 5th round pick, but I think he's a guy from a talent perspective that can really make this squad and can make us better, especially as we're getting to the twilight years of DeMario's career, and we're trying to figure out, okay, who's next, who's stepping up. And
mhm.
so I think he's a guy that can come in a very, thin linebacker room and truly
Outside
make
of the
it
three,
hard because we've had some injuries with some of the depth
Pete.
pieces at linebacker, and so he can
Yep.
come in, and if he's showing flashes even as a rookie, again, you know how DA is about defense. If you got it, you're gonna play on that end, and so I'm looking forward. What I saw at Texas, man, like I love
That
this.
it,
I was happy
mhm.
when we drafted him.
Okay. Um, I would say this. It's like everything comes down to opportunity for me and
Yeah.
these rookies because Demario Davis, he's gonna play damn near every
Mm-hmm.
down. Pete Warner, he's a monster when he's healthy. He's been injured with his ankle injuries a little bit last year.
Angles and
That's
growing,
been
yeah.
bothering him. But signing William Gay from the Chiefs. That's 3 linebackers right there. I don't know if he's gonna get a lot of run. He might get special team run. You
Mm-hmm.
say he's a fast guy in the end speed on to get to the ball, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to showcase that. So I
Mm-hmm.
think preseason will be his chance to prove he can
Mm-hmm.
be out there on the field in case of injury to be ready to play because Pete has been injured. So you might get that chance.
Yeah.
And earlier in the earlier part, you said William Gay, he rushes the passes good as well
Yeah.
at a good rate as well. So we might need somebody back there to help out in the pass coverage and just having some young speed on the field because that's why they added William Gay to that linebacker room because
Mm-hmm.
D Davis is not as fast as he used to be.
Yeah.
Pete Warner injury prone because he's the sideline to sideline guy as well, Pete. But the injury slowing him down. So we'll see where he lands in this rotation, but I definitely think he make the team and contribute on special teams,
Mm-hmm.
especially with these new kickoff rules, which is making it easy on everybody who on special teams to make their money. You don't need too much. You don't need to do too much on special teams no more on the gunner side outside of punt returns. But that was the 3 Saints 5th round picks. We get to the 6th round pick in Christian Boyd D tackle. Now I think he has a chance to
Mm-hmm.
play him.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
anybody on the defensive line, I love those picks because we need defensive linemen
Yeah.
badly. And the guys we overhauled our defensive line last year.
Mm-hmm.
We signed Nathan Shepard from the
Yeah.
Bills, another D tackle from Kansas City
And
Chiefs,
Kalen
Kalen
Saunders or
Saunders.
something like that.
We signed Kalen
He was
Saunders and we
drafted.
let go who the 2 D tackles we let go? I was starting D tackles.
I know one went to Onyemata, went to
Onyemata.
the Falcons, and we
And we
kept
let go
we kept
our other
Roach.
guy.
We kept
We
Roach,
kept
but now
Malcolm
Roach
Roach,
is
but he's
free agent.
gone.
Kept
I
the
love Roach too, but he's gone.
yeah. He's
So
gone. We still got Brzee.
yeah, I love Brazil.
Yeah.
We have Brazil and Christian Boyd. We might have him, and
Yeah.
he has a chance to step in if he can show some things in training camp.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a chance to play. Trey, what you think?
Man, look, I like him. I mean, he probably my second favorite to Kool-Aid in terms
Okay.
of our draft picks this year. And he's a little nasty. He's definitely going
Hmm.
to help in the run defense. I think we signed Shepard and Kalen to maybe help shore up that run defense in
Yeah.
the interior, and we didn't necessarily get that, or not as much as we wanted to. But they were pretty effective in and
They
pass
was
rushing.
solid.
So,
Yeah,
and so I
they
think,
was solid.
yeah, I think you bring a young guy like Christian Boyd that, if he develops the way I believe they're hoping he does, can take on two blockers, and now you letting Brazil work on his patented spin move and get into the quarterback. And he can
Mhm.
kind of be the superstar that we drafted him last year to be. And he already showed some flashes, really did some things where he looked to be our best defensive lineman, which is what you hope. And so
He is.
I think bringing another young guy that you can grow with. And then now you got Carl Granderson on the outside. You added Chase Young. You're hoping Isaiah Foskey, who said he's getting some confidence now, can
Peyton
develop on
Turner.
the outside. So now Peyton Turner, but
Yep.
contract year, see what happens. But I
Hopefully
think
they
you're
be
getting
great.
some guys on that inside and on that D line that one adds depth, but guys that can play right away. And so I'm hoping he stays healthy. I'm hoping he is as advertised, and he makes his way into the rotation because he has all the physical abilities to do it. But we know that it isn't always about the physical abilities. About do you understand the playbook, gap control, all that type of stuff. So
Exactly.
that's
Can
what
you
I'm
stay
excited.
healthy?
Yeah.
That's a big thing for the Saints defensive lineman. Because the Saints, we've been drafted defensive linemen. We've been looking for the guys. We drafted
Mhm.
Davenport. We had Trey Hendrickson, which he was great. He got his big contract. And ironically, he's on a trade market now. He wants to be traded because he wants a new deal.
Yeah.
So what do you think about a Trey Hendrickson reunion? Just a little side note.
I wouldn't mind
Would
it.
you be open to it?
How would I be? Hell yeah, I'd be open to it. It just depends on what the asking price is. Like I'm not giving a first or a second, but a
All right.
third for him. Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay. We can get to our last guy, and his
Mm-hmm.
name is Josiah Azirum.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm pronouncing that correctly, he's another offensive tackle for the Saints. So they
Mm-hmm.
addressed the offensive tackle first and with their last pick in the 7th round. Might be could be a depth piece
Mm-hmm.
because, like we said, this offensive line has been overhauled. So, what do you think? You think he can make the roster as a 7th
Yeah,
round pick?
I mean, because outside of the five that we know of, being what Fuanga, Saldiveri,
Mhm.
McCoy, Ruiz, and Penning slash Ram. Don't even know
Um,
what's going on with Ram.
Calvin Throckmorton isn't on the
He's not. He's
Saints.
not with us anymore.
Okay,
We cut him. So like we don't really know too many depth pieces. I know we signed the guy that played for
Chop
Minnesota. We signed the guy
pull
that played for
something
the
up.
Bears. So we got a lot of veteran
Mm-hmm.
depth pieces, but not too many young depth pieces. And so bringing him in, offensive tackle, um, we see there he allowed no sacks and no hurries. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
that's music to my ears. So even if it has a depth piece and knowing our history in
uh-huh.
terms of our health wise of our offensive line, man, you got to have some folks that are ready. And so I haven't heard much about him in camp, but I'm excited to when we kind of get to that mandatory mini camp and seeing how he produces. Obviously, games preseason. I'm hoping he makes the roster till then, so we can see him in some game action. But it's always good to have a young guy in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he might be a guy we may, try left and right tackle, kind of like that swing
See where he fit
tackle
in.
that every
I
team needs.
I got a question for you with him.
Mhm.
He played in the FCS. Does that bother you? With
Nah,
the competition level?
nah. I
Okay.
think, I mean, for me, it's just always the mechanics. Like I think if you dominated with sloppy mechanics, then yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit nervous. I
Mm-hmm.
think even with Penning, he dominated, but there were some moments that you saw on tape that that might not translate, and we saw in the NFL it wasn't translating. It looked a little bit worse on
Okay.
NFL tape than it may have in college tape, and so I don't really buy into the opponent. How good they are and the level of competition. I think if you
Mm-hmm.
got it, you got it. And he's one of those guys that has produced. I mean, especially if you're going to be at a level where the competition isn't as great, I
Mm-hmm.
expect you to truly be dominant, and that's what he did. So,
Mm-hmm.
so he took advantage of what where he played, and I think he got himself into a good situation where there isn't a lot of knowns on the Saints offensive line. So when we pretty much talked about opportunity this whole episode,
Yep.
you have it. Seize the moment, 7th round pick or not.
Heard.
Mhm.
Now PFF grade for the Saints, as I mentioned earlier, is an A plus. What would you
Mhm.
give the grade for the Saints this draft?
I don't like doing A pluses. I'd say an A, because one, I think they addressed every need.
Mm-hmm.
They got tackled. They added to the wide receiver room. They added to the defensive line, and then I think you got one of the, I think second to Penix, really the best pure passer in this year's draft. And so you should really be excited. So I would give them an A, just because one, they address need, but then I think they address some areas of best player available that could help us long term, if the possibility presents itself.
Heard. Um, I'm gonna give the Saints a B. I'm not too big on. I'm not too big on. I'm not too big on giving A's just for
Just to
drafts.
pick, right?
I'm not. I have to see a little bit of something when I'm or hear
Mm-hmm.
things in training camp, because obviously we're not going to be there to see each
Mm-hmm.
player each play in and play out. But I need to hear things from the coaching staffs about these players. Are they
Mm-hmm.
standing out? Not just the oh yeah, they're great, this and
Mm-hmm.
that. When I don't want to hear that, I want to hear the real.
Yeah.
I want to hear real analysts. And I have another question for you. One more.
Yeah.
Who will be your jump out player from this draft class?
From this
Can't
draft
pick our
class,
first round. Can't pick Fuang.
I'll go Boyd. I'll go Boyd on the defensive
You
line.
stole mine, bro. Come
Like,
on.
cause I don't, like I said, I think Kool-Aid's just really gonna be, this is kind of a learned year. I think Spencer, he could get in, but I don't know when that happens. Too many
Mhm,
unknowns there. Jalen, we kind of talked about the linebacker position. Don't know when that would happen. Just thinking about who makes an immediate impact at their position.
mhm.
Um, I think Christian Boyd can do that.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
Do you
But
think Jake Haener or Spencer will touch the field this year?
yes, whoever wins that quarterback two competition will touch the field this year, and that's
Out
why
of
I think it's not
injury
really.
or bad play from QB1?
Um, I think either or. I think it's more likely injury to jumpstart it, like
Mhm,
injury and probably okay play. Like if Derek Carr is like going off and just happens to get a banged up, like he's not going to lose his job, right? But I think if
mhm.
it's kind of the way we started last year and he gets banged up, I can
Will
see.
one of them start a game?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
All right.
so. But I know we about to leave out soon. But when I think about this draft class, bro, Fuanga, he has to be as advertising. He has
He
to
got
come out.
we
Like
need
I
him,
know it's like,
bro. We need him.
especially when you think about some of those guys we passed on to
Mhm.
draft him. When I think of a guy like Dallas Turner that was
I know.
available,
I just know
and
you're
we
about to
knew,
say him.
and look, we knew we needed
He
that.
slipped too. He
And he
slipped,
slipped. And
but
so
we
it's like
made up for it when we got Chase Young.
we did. But
We
Chase
made
Young
up.
is coming off an injury. He's not gonna be back until the
That is true.
preseason. He probably
That
not
is
even gonna
true.
participate there.
That is true.
Um,
I'm so afraid that injury is gonna linger on, and we're not gonna even get to see
mhm.
him. I'm
Yeah.
like
We might
not the
not
whole
gonna
year, but a good amount of time.
yeah.
I think he'll come back. Hopefully, he'll be back for the
Mhm,
regular season. But not being able to work out at training camp and just
mhm,
coming back, that's gonna get to a slow start, and all
mhm.
the Saints, all us gonna be on his head. Like, man, we gave him that.
Yeah.
We overpaid for that. So hopefully he doesn't be a Marcus Davenport for us, because I was high on him, man. But man, we gotta run a little early because of me, y'all. I'm being a responsible adult today. I'm going to the doc. But this was our the facts segment for you guys. Our Saints fan. We broke down Ricky draft class. And once training camp comes around, we'll be able to give more information on the guys, because you know when the season starts, everybody won't claim their rookies when they make a
Yeah.
big play. I was big on him. I've been going look at this. So we got our guy. We got
Christian
Christian
Boyd.
Boyd, man, our guy. Y'all got it here. Is all the way in what is this? June? It's in
Yeah.
June. So also I want to say my mama birthday is tomorrow, Saturday. I'm gonna be putting this out. You think we should put this out today on a Friday? Might as
Let's
well,
put it
right?
out today. Happy birthday, mom.
Yeah. So y'all wish Mama Butler she a Cowboys fan, so don't
Oh,
wish her
no.
too happy birthday. Just give her a regular happy birthday. Her birthday tomorrow. So y'all wish Mama Butler a happy birthday. Any last words for him, Trey, bro? for the
Nah,
weekend.
man. Look, we should be excited about the draft class just simply because it's fresh blood and they're having an opportunity to make a name for themselves. And so hopefully they all pan out, but we know that's not how the NFL works. But the more we can have these guys, the longer we can have them, hopefully be um, a big part of what we're trying to build again, that would be great. So when we go back and look at how we talked about these guys, you don't want to be the one that talk bad about them, and now they get star player. Uh,
Right.
so, but man, we should be excited. We got a lot of good young guys coming into a lot of key positions.
Mhm.
So it's really good. It's on the up and up, but we got to see when them pads come on, when them games start.
Yes. Once again, you guys, Bayou Ballers Podcast, you know the facts segment. Please like, comment, and subscribe, you guys. Get us in the algorithm. Keep watching for us, but we get this out to more people. Everybody watch. Once again, this is just our NOLA segment. You know the facts. We cover NBA and NFL topics. Hey, we throw the WNBA in there, and if they got something that interesting that we can inform y'all about or we know about, we'll talk about that too. NBA Finals. We gonna next game is Sunday.
Next game is Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, so well, your Mavs won that. No, not the Mavs. Your Celtics won that, and you was chirping on Twitter. But we gonna talk about that next time on here. But y'all have a good day, man. We out.
All
Have a
right,
good
so
weekend.